All right, let's try this again. Hi, it's Jody. Freshly showered, wide awake, had the room to myself for a few minutes, so I thought I'd make a video. I had 2 seizures this week. My mouth still trips over that word, seizures. I feel like I slur when I say it. Anyway, they weren't the big grand mal, so I'm still more than a year with not having the fall to the floor, unconscious, flop like a fish. That is the scariest, most dangerous kind, but obviously having any seizures at all is dangerous. I had 2 partials where you're awake for it the entire time, but you can't speak, you can't make words. You think you're okay, but you're not. It's very confusing. But I had 2 of them in less than 24 hours earlier this week. That was very scary. That was really scary because I've never had any kind of seizure other than the big grand mals 2 that close together. I have been going through a change in meds. I have other things going on besides epilepsy that I don't talk about. I mean, I think I talked about getting officially diagnosed as diabetic a year ago, but I have other health issues I don't talk about. But the epilepsy is the prevalent one, and I really wanted November, every year in November is Epilepsy Awareness Month. And as usual, since September, I was planning a whole different bunch of posts. And oh wow, I can really tell my weight loss in this video. I don't know if it'll show because the camera usually adds 10 pounds by the time I upload it, but seeing myself in this moment, I can really tell the weight I've lost. Anyway, I digress. I'm still me. Every year, I'm like, September, SUDEP Day, National SUDEP Awareness Day, and sudden unexpected death during epilepsy. It's very scary. It's a very real possibility. Because I have 3 of the serious risk factors, it's something that I have to take very seriously. It's also a reason I don't get a lot of sleep because my subconsciously, I'm so afraid of SUDEP that I just don't go to sleep. And then I eventually have days like today where I just sleep 12 hours. And I wake up feeling fantastic, but I lost the whole day. So anyway, I've been planning since September to do all these posts and videos. I had this whole outline of things I wanted to do for Epilepsy Awareness Month. And now today's the 15th, and because of my own health and having seizures, I haven't done most of that. But I just wanted to make this video to say hi and check in and show you I'm still here and I'm still me, and I am still, you know, I have 12 projects in the works at all times, even though they might take me a year now to do the next step on something. But I will never stop. I will never give up. I will never not keep moving forward. And yeah, like epilepsy is not going to hold me down. It might slow me down, but it's not going to hold me down. But I have an outline of all these different videos I wanted to make and all these things I was going to post throughout the month in November. And I know it's not too late. There's still the second half of November. But I have a YouTube channel already, but I was thinking of starting one just about epilepsy because I've been very active on the epilepsy groups and answering a lot of questions for newbies. And it's very scary. I mean, it took me years to even accept that this was happening to me out of the blue. I had no idea you could just randomly have a seizure at 49. I thought it was a childhood disease. But apparently anyone can get a seizure at any time. And if once you have 2, then they say, oh, it's epilepsy, we need to do tests and find out what kind and go from there. But yeah, it's very scary, and it's frustrating how life-altering it is. And it took me years to come to terms with it and make peace with it, that this was actually happening to me. So I've been very active in the groups, helping out newbies, just giving them some words of advice, you know, not the kind of telling them, you know, don't listen to these people that say it's only this or it's only that, because nothing is everything for everybody. But it's been giving me more and more motivation to maybe start an epilepsy channel, a specific channel over on YouTube. We'll see. Who knows? I'll add that to my list of never-ending ideas of things I want to do. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to say hi, and I'm here. And oh yeah, and if you could please stop, like, just, if you're not going to engage with me on a regular basis and be a part of my everyday life, or even occasionally, you know, pop up on my social media and, you know, say hi, how are you, or, you know, Don't never speak to me for 2 years and then randomly show up on one of my posts and gurgitate your political opinion, because that's not what I'm here for, okay? And as soon as I'm done with this, the very next thing I'm going to do is go look how to turn off comments on a post. I think it's incredibly rude if you have not at least had a conversation with the person in the last year, or at least not engaged with my other posts in some way. Don't let some random post that I put on Facebook trigger you so that you come to a week-old post and dump your political opinion on me. 2 people have done it now in the same post, and it's really pissing me off. And then I laugh because I'm like, well, it doesn't really piss me off. It irritates me that I'm still on Facebook, because I don't give a fuck what they think. It has no bearing on my life in any way, particularly if they're not someone interacting with me on a regular basis. But like, how rude. I wouldn't just show up at your house after I haven't interacted with you and just dump my opinion all over your post. I would at least, come and show support, or I would if you asked for opinions, or I don't know. I just think it's incredibly rude, and it just reminds me that that's what Facebook does and how bad I want to let it go and have it not be a thing. Unfortunately, there's too many of you that I love deeply that I only am connected with because of Facebook, because you're not on other apps I use, or you're not in my life, and no one's in my life geographically. I live in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, I'll never understand that. Like, just because I post something, Facebook literally says, you open Facebook and it says, what's on your mind? And so sometimes I see that and I say what's on my mind, or I post what's on my mind in the moment. And if any of you actually know me, my opinion can change every 10 minutes all day long, depending on what's triggered me, or what's affecting me. Just like how this week I had so many plans, and then this week I had 2 seizures within 24 hours, and that scared the hell out of me. And I know it's probably because I just went through a big medicine change, and that affected my sleep, and that affected my digestion, and it affected lots of other things going on with me. But it was scary, and it made me have the feels about different things, and I was very easily triggered. Medicine changes will do that. That's another thing I wanted to teach people. There's some epilepsy meds that make you nuts. Trust me. Ask me how I know. It's also very common for doctors to say, oh, you have this problem, and shove a really high dose of medicine on you, when really you should have started slow, titrated up. They're getting better about that. The newer ones, they're forcing you to titrate up. But the old standard meds that they've been prescribing for people for 40 years, they just dump you with a high dose. Or they'll even give you 2. That happened to me in 2023. I was diagnosed. I had 2 massive seizures in the hospital. And last thing I remembered was going for a CAT scan. Apparently I had a massive grand mal seizure in the CAT scan machine. Scared this little girl. I woke up 2 days later. They had me so drugged out I didn't know who I was. And they sent me home on all these meds. 2023 was a year that changed my life because of my meds and because of my family. Oh my God. It's a whole nother video. So that's actually a book someday. I can't make a video about that. But someday I have a whole book to write just on my family. But I picture myself, I always say that, I'm going to write a book someday. But the reason I don't is because if I said everything I wanted to say, there are people still living on this earth that would be greatly affected by it. And I'm not ready for that fallout yet. When I've done enough healing and I'm ready for the fallout, I'll let that book out in the public. So, yeah, that's why the other day I watched a video I made it was in 2018. It was fascinating. I was looking for an old photo in my album, and I found a video that I made in 2018 before I ever had my first seizure, before I had a clue that epilepsy was going to come in and change my life. And it was so interesting to watch that woman talk about her life, her hopes, her dreams, her fears, because it was a full year and 4 months, year and 3.5 months after I had left my career, got in the RV, went on the road, did my thing, had already been across country and back, had plans to do more new things, had no idea that in 2019, I would start having seizures, and I would find out that some of the physical things that were happening to me actually did go back to the time I made that video. And it was so fascinating to watch that girl with pink hair make a video, having no clue what the next 7 years were going to bring. It's been quite a journey. Quite a journey. So yeah, there's plenty of books in me. And there were 2 a while ago. There's been 3 or 4 now. But I have to be well enough to do it. And either some people need to leave the earth, or I need to come to terms with this is what's going to happen when you release this, and be ready to deal with the fallout. So that's the number one reason I haven't pursued any of those book writing ideas. But I have so many other projects. There's always art that's unfinished. I have 17 ideas for that it's a huge piece. I have to have the table to myself. People don't know I live in someone else's house. I live in one room that we have a divider. The bed's on the other side. This side is art studio, living room, kitchen, hangout space, and then the bed is over there on the other side of that wall. And so, my whole life, it didn't bother me for the longest time because we lived in an RV and we were minimalists. But now that we're trying to live a full life as much as possible, it's really hard to be in this much space. But that's why you always see crowded stuff behind me, because if I show you over there, it's the kitchen. And if I show you over there, it's a closet without a door. And if I show you over there, it's the walkway into the bed. And so I just always make the same background. But I'm rambling. Anyway, I have too many things in my mind, and I just need to start making videos again and just start letting it out. So I'll probably post this one on Facebook, because I haven't updated anyone there in a really long time. Although now that it's 12 minutes long, I'm thinking I'll put it on YouTube and maybe put a slice on Facebook. I don't know. We'll see. This is going somewhere, okay? And if you've watched all 12 minutes, thank you. I love you.